I want to quickly touch on OU schedule too, because we'd be remiss if we didn't mention our enemy who is coming along with us. But they start with Temple at home. They've got Houston. Then they've got Tulane, Tennessee. Then so they've got 4 straight home games to start the season. Then they're at Auburn. Then it's the Red Rebel rivalry. They also have a bye week in between. Then they come back home for South Carolina. Then they're at Ole Miss. Then they're back at home for Maine. Then they're at Missouri. Then they're back at home for Bama. And then they end the season at LSU. Wow. So it's a tough schedule compared to what we have. You know, they've got LSU, Bama, Ole Miss, Auburn, Tennessee, Texas. I mean, Missouri. I mean, they could be playing 6 or 7 ranked games this season.
Hey, you got to mention the other team. Who else you got to mention in there?
South Carolina.
The Tulane Green Wave, who have been a really
that's not an easy gimme. That's not easy.
Not
either.
at all. It's not. I mean, the main game is the easiest game between the two of our schedules, I would say. Yeah. But I mean, it's nice that they get to start at home, but obviously their season gets that's tough sledding to finish the season with Bama and LSU.
Missouri too. We mentioned them finishing number 9. So they've got
to go to Ole Miss, to go to the Grove. You know, that's a tough one to travel to. I don't envy that.
DJ Dog, you know, he mentioned it earlier in the show, but OU have an entire new O-line next season, which is true. They've all entered the transfer portal. And when you're heading the SEC, what's the one thing that you want to have a plethora of? Mm-hmm. You have a bunch of interior linemen, D-line, and O-line. And the trenches, man, they're looking a little light right now in Norman. So they might have a tough season next year.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what other like big like, you know, out of conference games are in the SEC outside of that. LSU is USC, which is in Las Vegas. It's pretty exciting. Notre Dame at A&M. And this is all week 1. Clemson versus Georgia in Atlanta, which is exciting. Miami versus Florida is week 1 next year. So that's all week 1. That's all week 1. It's going to be insanity. Tennessee goes to NC State. That's in Charlotte. It's a neutral site game, but that's again like
it's got Wisconsin.
Yeah, NC State's not a gimme game. Bama's got Wisconsin. You're right. And then we pretty much head into SEC play after that. No one else has any games. Saturday, week 4, UCLA at LSU's got both those teams. Wow, they have UCLA as well, which is pretty intense.
Yeah, the one that we didn't even necessarily spend that much time on Oklahoma's schedule is they play Houston too. And that's a Big 12 team now, right? I mean, they were this past year, but Houston could get plucky and scrappy in that game, knowing that they're playing the team that left the Big 12, right? Like we don't have one of those Big 12 teams on our radar for the foreseeable future. But I imagine whenever we do play one of those teams again, you know, they're going to come after us and they're going to come after us hard. So, yeah.
No I do not envy OU. Ole Miss, Bama, that's a tough.
We're in the perfect place. I think we could not have gotten more lucky with how it's shaped out for us, with how our season's gone this year and how it's looking, how we walk into the SEC with a roster that has not been picked apart by transfer portal, with guys that are wanting to come in, with new huge commits that are coming in, being a top 6, potentially top 5 ranked team in recruiting this year. I mean, it's looking really good for the Horns. So we're super excited.
Yeah.
We're here to cover it. I'm excited to be excited, and we're here to cover it. We have news that we'll announce, I think,
early next week, probably.
Early next week. Yeah. We have a really special guest coming next week, and we have some really cool news for next week.
Yeah.
So very excited.
And the Quan Cosby will be back joining us on the show, as he typically is. So that'll be great.
Yeah, the GOAT. All right, guys, horns up. Amazing stuff. Malik, thank you for your time with the Longhorns. We wish you the absolute best, and hopefully we get a ring so you get a ring. Hook 'em, guys. We'll see y'all later.
Peace.